I'm meteorologist Monica Woods looking at a fairly active weather pattern throughout northern and central California. Regional headlines: fog returning to the coast for the valley, cooler with some clouds. Eye on the storms in the foothills, and for this year it will become rather active. So kind of seeing how far down the hill some of those thunderstorms will start to rotate. Our Sierra weather impact alert will continue through Tuesday. The impact being thunderstorms, hail, heavy rain, gusty winds, lightning, even more fire starts. We've already been monitoring multiple fires started by lightning. Stay weather aware, especially have that cell phone handy for all those weather alerts that come out. Our severe weather outlook expands throughout much of the Sierra, even through northern California into our Tuesday, coming slightly down the hill. So watch out, especially on the east side of the valley through the foothills, for a few of those isolated thunderstorms that just kind of expand from the Sierra and move their way westward. For Wednesday, it starts to become a little less expansive and more confined to the Sierra. So we're starting to see a little bit of that reduction in our severe weather risk. Nonetheless, lightning safety. We're still kind of in the tail end of that summer vacation. Avoid picnic and shelter areas along the beach. Avoid the top of hills and open fields. Stay away from water, especially all that recreation at Lake Tahoe. Avoid trees or tall objects that could be a risk, especially as those cells just kind of rotate over the mountain areas and all of that forest area as well. Forecast highs for our Tuesday were in the 90s to right around 100 throughout the valley. So there's still some pockets of heat left over from that ridge of high pressure sinking warming air, which is all a part of how we're getting those thunderstorms in there. Average number of days for the Sacramento area of 100+ degree heat. That's 16. We've only had 11, but we quickly climbed over the course of the past couple of days with a lot of heat risk actually under that ridge of high pressure. But it's still part of the forecast. With that clockwise circulation, we're still pumping up that moisture throughout the Sierra Spine. So roughly after about noontime through the early part of the evening is when we see that biggest risk of thunderstorms in the higher elevations. Now that high pressure ridge starts to lose a little bit of its momentum here. That will allow access to more of that onshore flow and more fog for the coast as we make our way through the middle of the week. That high pressure ridge again starting to weaken, but we still see enough of its presence that will have the risk of thunderstorms into our Wednesday, possibly lingering into Thursday as well. So let's take a look at the specifics. For a long time, we've been looking at the temperatures as the main focus, but now it really will be the potential for lightning sparked fires and the dangerous thunderstorms developing in the Sierra, with even a slight risk of some flooding. Highs in the 70s for the Tahoe Basin as we make our way southward here. Still a risk of thunderstorms. Yosemite 79 degrees, 82 for Pinehurst, 98 though for the valley at Merced, 100 hanging on in Fresno. Along the central coast, Monterey Bay Peninsula, nice cooling there. We've got 60s and 70s as we head our way inland, though. Again, we're still in the 90s to near 100. That summer heat under that ridge of high pressure will be lasting at least for the next couple of days. 60s along the Bay Area coast here, 69 for Point Reyes. As we move inland, we're in the 80s, so not quite into the 100-degree threshold as we make our way through the capital region. Along the northwest coast, lots of fog, highs in the 60s. Inland areas coming out of those widespread 100s. We're in the 90s. Slight chance of some thunderstorms into our Tuesday for the northern part of the Sacramento Valley as we make our way through the Sacramento region. Highs are in the 90s largely, right around the upper 90s to near 100, where we don't have as much access to that breeze coming in from the Pacific. Moving on to our 5-day regional forecast, as I mentioned, a slight chance of thunderstorms lingering into our Thursday for the mountains. Otherwise, we'll start to see some clearing heading into the first part of our holiday weekend. 3-day forecast, we've got highs in the 90s for much of the valley as we head into that holiday weekend. We'll be pretty close to average, which runs right about the low 90s this time of year.